Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. And today, Julio Jones, 7-time Pro Bowler and 2-time All-Pro in 2000, Hall of Fame of all 2010s team, has retired. I mean, look, were we surprised? Were we surprised by this retirement? No, and if anyone was surprised by this retirement, I would say maybe you have been keeping up a lot with football. Julio Jones, did not play at all this 2024 season. And you know what? Just because a guy doesn't play at all in one season doesn't mean they're done. I mean, look, here's a good example. This is a great example. Michael Gallup, a guy who retired last year, decided he was done, just decided he wasn't done, announced he wanted to return and sign with the Commanders. So a guy can play doesn't have to, he can sit out a season and still sign somewhere. So I don't know if I think maybe him not playing this year, it's not a great way to know he wasn't returning. But the last couple of years we saw him on the field, it's not like he was great. So that makes it seem like more likely that he was not going to play again. 2023, he only played 11 games and was with the Eagles. He was targeted 19 times for 74 receiving yards. Actually did have 3 receiving touchdowns. And it got to the point where they, started talking about switching him to tight end. When you're a great wide receiver like Julio Jones has been, one of the best of all time, one of the best I've seen in my watching football days, when there's talks about you starting to move at tight end, things are starting to wrap up in your career. Even 2022 is second to last year, not so great. 299 receiving yards in 10 games. Even his third year, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't amazing. 434 receiving yards in 10 games at Tennessee. Really did not look that good at all after he left Atlanta. You look at his last year at Atlanta, 2020. He only played 9 games, but still had 800 receiving yards and 3 receiving touchdowns. I know that's on the 1,000 mark, which is something he did in most of every season outside of that 2020 season in Atlanta, but still 800 receiving yards in 9 games. We know he would have probably been at a full season, which was a problem that last year in Atlanta, would have probably been at maybe, I'm not going to say 1,600, but it might have been at 1,500 receiving yards, if not maybe 1,300 receiving yards in that 2020 season with Atlanta fully healthy. Then 2019 season, he was healthy, had 1,400 receiving yards in Atlanta in 2019, 1,700 receiving yards in 2018. 2015 had 1,900 receiving yards and 8 receiving touchdowns, and was great, So had a great career. In 166 games, had 13,703 receiving yards and 66 receiving touchdowns. And so, like I said, great career for Julio Jones. One of the best I've ever seen do it at the wide receiver position. So I think he'll be very missed. Also has one of the best Super Bowl catches I've ever seen. Outside of Julian, there have been great catches I've seen. I would say probably the best catch ever in Super Bowl history, if not the best I've seen, is the Julian Edelman catch in 2017. The same, and I know a lot of people know the catch that Julio Jones made in that Super Bowl, but it's underlined by the catch that Julian Edelman made. Might have been one of the best catches I've seen in the Super Bowl outside Edelman's. I think that Julio Jones was gifted at the wide receiver position, and honestly, I wish I would have gotten to see more of his prime. I really do, because I started watching football in the 2016 season. I missed I would say two of the best seasons of his career. 2015 and 2014 were two of his best seasons of his career, and I wasn't watching football then yet. So I wish I was around watching football in 2015 and 2014. I didn't start watching until the year the Falcons made it to the Super Bowl. So, but I wish Julio Jones a happy retirement. Let me know your thoughts on the retirement in the comment section, and peace out.